What's up, African Fight Fam? It's your boy JB back at it again. This time we are very, very early today. This is not our usual hours for our African Fighters podcast. And look, surprise, surprise, it's Farouk. Farouk decided to show his face here. I'm pretty sure the last time you saw Farouk here, his beard is not this long. But welcome back, brother. Where have you been?
Thank you. It's good to be back. I've been around watching you guys. You guys have been doing an amazing job. You and Toby. Well, Toby sometimes bad connection, but it's good to be back.
Okay, taking. Anyways, guys, today we've got two shows separately. We thought to do one long show, but we thought it was going to be too long. We just decided to come in quickly and do a quick preview of the African Fighters Awards. So we are going to try to go through every category that is, and this year we've got 11 categories, right, Farouk?
Yep.
So here's a stats I'm going to throw out to you guys. The last time we did the African Fighters Awards, which is 2 years ago, we only had 5 categories in there, and it was the big boys. It was during the time of the three kings, Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya, and Francis Ngannou. We all had them on, and I believe they all won an award, and we actually got to physically hand the award to Kamaru Usman, which was very great. We actually got to meet Will Harris, who is the filmmaker for Anatomy of a Fighter. That was great. And yeah, we thought let's bring this back. And to be honest, there has been a lot of positive impact with regards to the reception we've been getting from fight fans, from the fighters as well. Farouk, would you say you've been surprised with how much this has been received?
Yeah. I'm very, very surprised. But it's good. I think it's kind of expected because we've been doing this for a while. So a lot of people have been expecting us to do something like this. We didn't do this last year, so this is going to be the second edition and incredible. And I think the fans and the fighters are also appreciating our effort. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you the amount of DMs we've got where we get fighters saying, "Oh, thank you for recognizing me. Thank you, thank you for doing this." But all I have to say is, uh, cheers to everybody that is participating. To be honest, the numbers we've been getting from the link to vote alone is very, very big because as at this time of streaming right now, we've had over, I believe, if not close to 8,000 clicks or 8,000 visits to the link where people vote. So that is actually very, very impressive. So maybe because right now we plan to finish voting in the next week by the end of this month, and we hope to get to 10,000 profile visits or website visits for that. But at this point we are at 8,000. So yeah, shout out to you guys. We've been seeing love from different parts of the world. The Cameroonians are heavy, the Congo, the DRC guys, the South Africans, Nigerians as well.
Yes, as well.
It's been very, 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 very positive. Yeah, so as you know, the awards is going to happen on the 14th of January 2024. That's the second week of January. We are going to stream live. We are going to try to get every winner to send in a video so it looks like we are together in this, and it's going to be really exciting. We are trying to get some things together to make it very engaging, so once you start watching, you are going to watch till the end. Farouk, do you want to tell us about what the voting rules and the judges and all that aspect is going to be like?
Yeah, like you
Basically
mentioned.
set expectations.
Yeah, okay. Like you mentioned, it's going to be a live stream event on the 14th of January, and voting is going to run from started already. It's going to end. Voting is going to end 31st of December, 2023. The rules, voting rules. You vote online. You have two. The voting is divided into 100%, but into 50% of two. What I'm trying to say is that the judges will vote. Judges vote constitutes of 50%, whereas the audience or the fans vote is 50%. So the judges will have a panel of 8 judges, who are also going to vote. Then that for the audience as well, 50% of the audience. We're going to merge all the votes together and then award the rightful winner in
Yeah,
different
so
categories.
just to piggyback on what Farouk is talking about with regards to we have 8 judges that are going to be voting, which covers 50% of the total votes. This is because uh, we don't want to just leave it with the fans. If we leave it with the fans, then it's sort of like a popularity contest. The person that campaigns the most or the person that has the most fans is likely going to win. So that's not what we want. We would want this to be uh, somewhat of merit as well. So hence why we have some very, very acclaimed MMA personalities and combat sports personalities that are going to be throwing their votes in there as well, which would I hope will be unbiased and we would actually get a legitimate deserving winner at the end. All right. We will not take too much time. What we are going to try to do today is to tell you guys our thought process with how we picked the nominees and each category and why it is important to highlight these guys for the incredible body of work they've had in the year of 2023. All right, so the first one is African Fighter of the Year global. If you remember last time we did this, we only did an African Fighter of the Year, but then we thought that there's a lot of fighters that missed out. And this time we're trying to show some love across the continent to our local fighters and also to the African fighters fighting in bigger global promotions like the PFL, the Bellators, and the UFCs. But this time we also considered fighters that were fighting in local promotions. So if you're fighting a local promotion and we put you up against someone that is fighting in the UFC, obviously the popular person will win. So we thought to divide this into 2 categories. We've got African Fighter of the Year Global and African Fighter of the Year Africa. With that being said, uh, I'm just gonna share the screen now, guys. All right, here we go. Hmm. So as you can see in your screen, the 3 guys that are nominated for the African Fighter of the Year Global. We've got Impa Kasanganay from Congo DRC. Impa is the PFL light heavyweight champion. He won the $1 million this year. And next is Sadibou Sai. Sadibou Sai from Senegal. He was trying to make 2 times welterweight champion in the PFL, but his body of work leading to the finals is what made us put him here. He has been very active, and obviously he probably scored the most memorable knockout this year. And next we've got the South African Dricus still knocks Duplessis, who is currently the #1 contender for the middleweight title in the UFC. Is going to be fighting Sean Strickland, the champion, in Toronto, UFC 298. So that's Dricus Duplessis. And lastly, we've got Demart Pena from Angola, who is the RS Bantamweight champion in Paris, France. All right, so this post on Instagram alone did very, very well. We got Impa Kasanganay to he was very appreciative. He sent us some very, very nice words. Sadibou Sai as well. Demart Pena as well. I wouldn't say so much of Drake because he liked the post, but he didn't say anything. But then Impa collaborated with us and Sai collaborated with us, so that's good. Um, we've got a lot of talking points in the comment section. It has been really, really busy in there. It's only for the strong of hearts. There's so many arguments going there. But what we are going to try to do is, Farouk. So, What was your thought process of adding Dricus Duplessis in here? Why do you think Dricus deserves a spot as a top 4 in the African Fighter of the Year global?
Yeah, for those fighters that were not nominated for this category, please bear with us. We came to final of this the 4 finalists. Dricus Duplessis, like you mentioned, has an incredible record of 20-2, and currently on a 6 fight winning streak in the UFC. He fought twice last year and fought twice this year. But why he's on the list is because he's now the #1 ranked in the biggest MMA promotion in the world. His way to the title shot, he defeated Brad Tavares, Darren Till, whereas this year he defeated the gatekeeper Derek Bronson. and also that incredible knockout victory against Robert Whittaker in I think in August or July this year, July. So for that
Mhm.
reason, being the number one contender, Dricus Duplessis definitely deserves to be on this list as the African Fighter of the Year global nominee.
Yes, so we've got Impa Kasanganay. Impa's story is rather an inspirational one. Impa went from losing to a viral KO during the pandemic to Hakim Buckley. That spinning, is it a spinning or jumping spin wheel kick to the head? And Impa had a mohawk, I can remember, which is something I always remember at that time. He had this haircut, the mohawk, which did not do justice to the highlight. But that guy, he fun fact, Impa is the first UFC fighter that we interviewed on the African Fighters. He has always been supportive because we've been supporting him as well. So he's always responds to us, and he's been carrying us along with his journey. Remember when he after he left the UFC, he also went to fight in Eagle FC. That's Khabib's MMA promotion, where he came out. He didn't win, but we still had a chat with him that time as well. And then to go through the Challenger Series in PFL and fight his way to the finals and fight his way to $1 million
I don't know if you
is
know the story
very,
about
very.
him also being homeless, sleeping in his car for a while
Oh
after leaving the
yes,
UFC. So
oh yes, that
incredible
has been made
journey.
popular on social media.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible, this story. And yeah, so why not? If there is among the top four, among these guys here, if there's someone that a movie needs to be made about, it would definitely be Impa's story.
yeah.
And so why don't you tell us why Sadibou is here?
Sadibou also former PFL welterweight champion. Who, almost on the way to winning the title again. He lost in the finals after a three-fight winning streak. So definitely deserved to be on the list. He fought four times this year, won three, came short in the finals. I think being the S champion also, like I said, his body of work. Sadibou definitely is a finalist on this for the award.
All right, and lastly, the Matt Pena, who fights in RS. He defended his title. He won a bantamweight title in France as well in RS. He has been really busy. A lot of people don't know the amount of I would say humanitarian work he does for the sports, because he's involved with like two MMA promotions, who awkwardly have the same name. Uh, I tried to get him to explain to me. He replied me in the DMs, but I'm still confused. I think we need an interview with Dimwa Pena so he can clarify which promotion is in Angola and what that is, and which promotion is in South Africa. And there was a there was an event they did where he fought Debois. I believe that's a South African MMA fighter, where the proceeds of that fight went to charity. So incredible stuff for Demat Pena, and he deserves to be here. Well, I must also add that there is someone who I feel that we omitted here, who should have made this list, to be honest. If I can be completely honest, I would say that the time we compiled this list, that guy was about to fight a title fight in Octagon MMA. I'm talking about Lucien Keita from Guinea. um, he won that title. He's a double champ, or he has been a double champ in Octagon, and I believe he deserves a spot up here. And they're all champions in our books, to be honest. And to be honest, Lucien Keita, watch out for that guy. That name is going to be coming up more and more and more soon. Farouk, you've got anything you want to add?
No, no. I'll just say click on the link in bio on vote on Instagram, on YouTube. Go to our community tab on YouTube and then also cast your vote.
All right, we've got Temba Gorimbo, the answer in watching on. He says, very good guy, Impa. Never feel sorry for himself. He inspires me. Got to meet him and we connected as African brothers. Very skilled too. Yes, yes, that's true. And he actually, I think I'm gonna ask him this question. He actually made a conscious effort in the PFL Challenger Series to carry the Congolese flag instead of the American flag. because he is American Congolese, but he specifically deliberately decided to fly the Congolese flag, which is something commendable. And I would say it was a very good look for us as well. So shout out to Impa on that regard. All right. Uh, that is the African Fighter of the Year Global. Uh, please get in the bio and click on the link to vote. Farouk, can you confirm if we are live on Instagram, please?
Yeah, we are live on Instagram.
All right. If anything comes up in the in the tab, you let me know so we can, or you can just shout it out here because I can't see from my
Yeah, you
end.
can drop your questions, your comment on Instagram as well. Also on YouTube, we are live on Instagram and on YouTube. So join and put your question here for us.
All right. The next category we are going to be looking at is the African Fighter of the Year, Africa. All right, guys. I'm just gonna pop that in the screen now. Here we go. So the African Fighter of the Year, Africa category. We've got Igu Smiley Kabisa. He is Congolese, but he is based down in South Africa.
Yeah,
Igu is currently the uh, oh gosh,
Ali.
I always get this. I always get this wrong. He's the featherweight champion, right?
Yeah, featherweight champion.
Yes, because he corrected me, and the match Pena as well corrected me with regards to this. EFC, he is regarded as one of the most talented African fighters that are still fighting in Africa. He's got an incredible record down there. He has beaten everybody. There's literally nothing else for him left to prove. He just needs to get out of there, or he wants to get out of there. And I think we will likely see him in the UFC soon. If I'm going to make a bet among the the African fighter of the year that we've listed, I think Igu might likely be the first person to jump ship to a top MMA promotion in America. Next is Mark Hulme. Mark Hulme, popularly a CIT fighter, close to Dricus Duplessis. I believe they travel together. They corner each other. Um, Makume took a break and he came back and won the welterweight champion of title of the EFC and also defended that title. Won it by rear naked choke and defended it by rear naked choke. Shout out Makume. He's been busy. Fought twice this year. For MMA, we know that's quite a lot. And he didn't skip a bit when he came back. So shout out Makume. Someone that we would likely see in the UFC as well pretty soon. All right, next is Jores Dia from Cameroon. He is the uh, UAE Warrior African. He's the first champion they crowned in that African promotion, sub promotion that they do there. He is a very, very well traveled fighter. He's got a bit of ups and downs, but this year it has been up and up for him. And he's one of the fighters that also came into our DMs and really appreciated the effort of putting the African Fighters Awards together. So shout out to Joris Dia. And next is the double champ Wissam Hamami, a Tunisian boy, very close friend to the Tunisian fighter Monir Lazaz that was in the UFC. I believe he has left the UFC now.
Mhm.
He is a champion of in UAE Warrior Africa and also UAE Warrior. Hence why you can see the two belts on his shoulder. All right, Farouk. We're not going to take too much time moving. Oops. Oh gosh. We're not going to take too much time on this. We are going to try to go through all of them and why they are there. Can you start by picking anybody here you want to talk about?
I'm going to start with A. Kabisa. As shown on the screen, Ike Kabisa has an incredible record of 17 and 2, just two losses. Like you mentioned, regarded as one of the greatest featherweights of all time in Africa, African gods. And Smiley, I think, like you mentioned, the time is right for him to leave. He fought twice this year and defended his title twice, first against Vince Membe and second, he got just recently in December, he got his revenge against Ronaldo Exin. He lost his title to Exin. I think Kabesi has about 7 title defense in not at the stretch, but combined title defense in the EFC. So I think he deserved the nomination. That's why it's on the list.
Yeah. So can you also talk about Joris Dia for us, please?
Okay, Joe is there as well. As other fight like you mentioned, he's on the high, on the low, up and down, 10-6 record. A veteran, he made his name in the UAE Warriors. Has been fighting in the Middle East for a long time, and he became the first African fighter to be crowned UAE Warriors African Champion featherweight title. He defeated Muhammad Kamara. Although before that, he defeated EFC champions Sylvester Chifumbu. So for that reason, that's why he is nominated for the African Fighters Award Africa category. Recently, he lost his recent fight, but he deserved the nomination, in my opinion.
All right. Wissam Hamami is someone that is looking to get to the UFC as well, but he is starting to be quite popular in the Middle East down there. As I told you earlier, he is very close friends with the Conor McGregor of the UAE, which is Monir Lezaz. Uh, he has been busy winning. He's the first fighter in the UAE Warriors to win titles in both UAE Warrior Africa and also UAE Global. So with that being said, he definitely deserves a spot here. And also Makome, CIT aficionado, he was also in our DMs as well. Because funny story, he saw because we tagged him onto this post, and then he came and he was like, "Yo guys, where is DDP?" Like he thought, why should I be here when DDP isn't here? And I told them, oh, there is actually another category, which is the global one, hence why DDP is there. And he understood. And yeah, he actually signed up to our Patreon. So shout out to Makome. Appreciate you. And
Talking about Patreon as well, I'll just throw that in here for those of you watching on Instagram and on YouTube. You can click the link in bio, support African fighters on Patreon, pledge wherever you can. You keep us going and keep us doing this every time for the Africa continent. Thank you.
all right, we've got a comment here. It says, how about our champion Usman didn't see any nominations? Farouk, take this one.
Usman, currently on a 3-5 losing streak. Sad one. We'll hope to see him back and hopefully get his title either in the welterweight or middleweight. Who knows? When we see Usman and Dricus Duplessis next year for a mega fight in Africa, we never can say. So yeah, Usman is not currently in that nomination spot, to be honest.
All right. We're going to move on quickly to the African Female Fighter of the Year. All right. So in the female category, I'm going to pull this up right now. Boom. Okay. I don't want to take too much time doing this. All right. So in the female category, first nominee from Nigeria, she's a police officer. She currently fights in African Knockout Championship. That's AKO, Kamaru Usman MMA promotion in Nigeria. She's fought 3 times this year, I believe, and she's won all 3. I can
Yeah.
remember 2, but I think I saw something going on with her recently. But she's an incredible striker. She converted from kickboxing and has been beating people up and down. She trains with the Congolese guys. I don't know what their gym is called. You know, the Musasa and then Mulumba and then
Yeah.
Flex Munye. She trains with them. Juliet Chuku, nominated for Female Fighter of the Year. We've got Alexandra Takena, Algerian, Nigerian, French. She fights in RS. She attempted to get the title down there in RS, I believe, was last year or was it earlier this year?
Last year.
Okay, was last year unsuccessful, but then she has been putting banger upon banger. Farouk, why is Alex here?
So Alex, she's still young in her career. After losing the title shot, she has a record of 4-1. She's currently on a 2-fight winning streak, I believe. So yeah, for that reason, she fought twice this year. So for that
Mhm.
reason, she's also one of the African lady doing great, representing Nigeria and also Algeria and France as well. So for that reason, she deserves, in my opinion, to be on the list.
Okay, and next we've got Dine Van Wyk. Dine Van Wyk was involved in what is regarded as by many to be the fight of the year in EFC this year. She, I believe she fought. She's undefeated, 4-0,
Mm.
and there's a lot of talk about her being literally pound for pound number one. We have a pound for pound number one female out of South Africa. We have a liaison to South African MMA who is she's a girl, by the way. She's a lady, by the way, and she's in the Georges. She's the one that sold us Dane Van Viek. She confirmed that Dane Van Wyk is the deal. And if you haven't seen her fight, can't remember who she fought, which is regarded as by many to be fight of the year this year. Go look for that fight in EFC. Maybe go subscribe to their online platform and see that fight. It was certainly a banger.
Yeah.
All
Mm.
right, next we've got Rizlan Zoak.
Yeah.
Farouk likes Rizlan because there's been a lot of love from our page if you notice about Rizlan, and I promise you it's all Farouk. Farouk, is this strictly MMA or is there any other intent?
Strictly MMA. Rizlan is married. Rizlan is married and proud Moroccan. Representing Morocco and also putting Africa on the map. She had a record of 8-5, currently on a two-fight winning streak. And in her last fight, just a week ago, she won the RS first ever RS female or women bantamweight title. So for that reason, she definitely is on the list as African Female Fighter of the Year nominee.
All right, there you have it, the list of the African female fighters of the year. I must actually mention, there was a big omission by us guys. Again, we don't own a database that has all the African fighters in there. We might skip some, miss some, and it would not be deliberate. There is a fighter in the UFC right now. Her name is Nora. She is from Algeria, and she is a certified badass. She made her UFC debut this year. She won. Earlier this year as well, she fought in UAE Warrior and she won. She's been beating people up and down and she deserves to certainly be here. We only came to know that she was Algerian when she saw this post and was like, "Yo, guys, why you overlooking me?" Oh, actually, her words exactly was, "Is this supposed to be funny?" I was like, "Oh shit." Oh
Yeah.
shit, we forgot. Well, Alhamdulillah, we made up in the group chat, in the DMs. I hope we are in good terms with her at this point. And shout out to Nora,
Um,
incredible talent, and you'll be seeing more of her on
I
our
think
page pretty
I think
soon.
for those who don't know her, Nora lost only her debut fight. She has fought across Africa. She fought at Gladiator Fighting Arena, Benin Fighting Championship, where she defeated Juliet Villarreal. And Juliet is on this fun fact is on our nomination list. So I think for that reason, Nora felt that I should be on this list. She's currently on a 7 fight winning streak. Had a record of
Oh
seven
yeah.
and one, 5 wins by KOTKO. So watch out for Nora. Nora, her nickname is the Wonder. So
Mm.
hopefully we'll see what she does in the UFC.
She
She's currently on
actually,
one fight,
she
winning streak in the UFC. One fight and one win. Yeah. Sorry, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Carry on.
She actually has this very impressive look. She's got these tattoos that actually complements her badass look. Yeah, shout out to Nora, man. Guys, you guys will see more of her. I'm sure Farouk is a fan already.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Five wins by KO. That's impressive. I'm looking forward to seeing her shine next year.
All right. We are going to be moving next to the next category, which is the inspirational fighter of the year. This is something for um uh something that is straight out of Hollywood. If you've got a story, when they say inspirational fighter is a case where your story as a fighter is something that could be scripted in Hollywood, and when the credits show in the end of the movie and you have a tear drop down your eye, that is sort of like inspirational fighter. Those are the people that are in this category. And I believe this year there was plenty for us to choose from. There's a lot to choose from. And African Inspirational Fighter of the Year, guys, here are your nominees. First, we've got Impa Kasanganay. We already discussed why. Uh, Impa has a story of grass to grace. Well, it's like a lot of he would bumps up and down. Like if he tells you his story starting from DRC when him and his family left because of the chaos that was going on there, and they came to the US, and then culture shock, and then growing up, and then becoming a fighter, and then becoming like a huge prospect, getting into the UFC undefeated, and your first loss should be that viral KO, and then you left, and then your next fight outside of the UFC you got caught. You got caught outside of UFC. Your next fight you lost, and then you had to be sleeping in your car, and then you then picked up yourself and then become what you are today as a champion in the PFL. And this is like Hollywood's stuff, man. So shout out to Impa, Kasanganay. Everybody, see, in this category, anybody, all of them are winners already in life because of their stories. All right, so we're going to go to the next one. Next one is Temba the Answer Gorimbo. We already know Temba. Everybody that watches our show knows Temba is one of us. He his story coming from the the diamond mines in Zimbabwe, crawling and finding himself in South Africa, finding himself to be a fighter in South Africa, becoming a champion in South Africa, even when there were so many naysayers, and then his journey to the US, and then his journey to uh to stardom was something of it's something that is literally written, right? Because everybody has seen his story with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the 7 box story. Now, Themba is a proud homeowner. His family are residing in Miami right now. He is still put doing a lot of work. As you can see from the graphic here, there's a borehole behind Themba for our audio listeners, and the stuff that he does using his platform to empower his people back home is incredible. Just last week, he was telling us here that he got $10,000 from Dustin Poirier to go treat eye cataract, which is some situation with eyes for old people down there in Zimbabwe, which is incredible. Because when he won an fighter choice award, or I forgot what the name of that category in MMA awards, he went up there in the podium and said, I want to go back home in my next fight, sell my kits, go back home and treat my uncle's eyes. And Dustin Poirier saw this and was like, okay, you can come take this 10K out of my Conor McGregor money. So that is that is very inspirational. I don't know about you guys. Next is Francis the Predator Ngannou. Farouk, you want to take this one?
Yeah, Francis Ngannou's story, incredible story. He has been inspiring for a while. I think he won the first edition of our award in 2021. His journey, his story, living Cameroon, working in the sand mine at age of 10, crossing seas, finding himself in France,
And
homeless,
winning the heavyweight title.
winning heavyweight title, and then leaving the UFC, betting on himself this year, leaving the UFC. And a lot of people thought he fumbled the bag. Remember that popular saying, he fumbled the bag, and then the white saying, we don't do gimmick fights. Ngannou went on to create his own company, professional company, gimmick fighting promotion. And then along the line, he met Ronaldo, got an incredible watch from Ronaldo, a gift from Ronaldo. We don't know how Ronaldo was involved in the whole deal. He got the fight with Tyson Fury.
Farouk, this is not about you. We know that you're a big Ronaldo fan, okay?
No.
You had to drop that small Ronaldo wrinkle in there to be like, yo, he met Ronaldo. What continue? Sorry.
So he fought Tyson Fury in the fight a lot of people believe was a gimmick fight. Tyson Fury is just going to run through Ngannou. Ngannou shocked the world, dropped Tyson Fury. A lot of people believe he won. Even the boxing expert believe he won. Ngannou's story is just incredible. It's going to continue to inspire people. We'll look forward to seeing what he does next year or what he do next year. I think for that reason, Ngannou definitely is a nominee for the Inspirational Fighter of the Year.
All right, next we've got Slim Trabelsi. A lot of people don't know this guy's story. This guy's story is very, very complicated, and it also involves lawyers and legal processes. So Slim Trabelsi was the heavyweight champion in RSFC, which is an MMA promotion owned by Fernand Lopez. Fernand Lopez also was involved with Francis Ngannou. He is a guy that is like, if you talk about MMA personalities in France, he is number one. That is Fernand Lopez. So Fernand Lopez owns RSFC, as I said, and Slim here won the RSFC heavyweight title. But he was under the management of Fernand Lopez, and Slim wanted to jump ship and come to the US. And according to Slim, he wasn't making money and blah, 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 blah. The story is very well documented. He wanted to come to the US to fight in the UFC, but he fortunately got signed by the UFC, and I believe under Ali Abdulaziz promotion management, which obviously is a breach of contract or whatever it might be. So he ended up being a victim of two huge MMA agents that would not agree on where a fighter should fight or whatever. He ended up losing that UFC contract, but then he made his comeback this year in Bellator 300, where he won his fight. And as you can see from the clip here, he was in tears because of all the struggles that he went through. It wasn't an impressive finish, but it meant a lot to him. And shout out to Slim. He will probably end up seeing him in the PFL now that Bellator has been acquired by the PFL. But I don't know what is more inspirational than that. I believe his story is still being written. It would eventually get better and better and better for Slim. All right, so we've got the four of them. Inspirational African Fighter of the Year, Impa Kasanganay from Congo, Temba the Answer Gurimbo from Zimbabwe, and Francis Le Predator Ngannou from Cameroon, and finally Slim Trabelsi from Tunisia. And I'm just going to quick highlight a comment here from our live chat from YouTube. We have Rekia Ahoiza Omeza. I'm sorry, Rekia. She said, okay, I'm assuming you are a she. I'm trying to be politically correct, but I'm sorry. Shout out to Temba. His story is so inspiring. I'm happy to see that he's been recognized for all his contributions to humanity. Temba, again, is a very selfless person. Thinks about other people before himself. He could be very stubborn. He can be very stubborn. I think you need to be a bit stubborn as a fighter. But yeah, Temba is quite the guy, man. He thinks about other people before himself. Shout out Temba. All right. So far we've done 5 awards. There's still a few more to go. All right, we are going to jump into the next one. Fight of the year. I have a little story for you guys with regards to fight of the year, but I'll tell you after we finished showing you guys who the fight of the year is this year. All right, so the African fight of the year. Here are your nominees. The first one, Sodiq Yusuf versus Edson Barbosa in UFC Fight Night. This was a main event. If you remember this fight, 5-rounder. Sodiq came out first round, dropped Barbosa, all guns blazing, as you can see from the phone clip here. And well, Barbosa weathered the storm and came back. So what the recipe for a fight, a very good fight, is when there is back and forth. When you thought, oh, this guy is going to win, and then this guy came and won. Or this guy is going to win, and then you think, oh, the other guy is going to win, and then the other guy wins. So that's what facilitates to be a fight of the year. Not just someone coming out to knock out somebody. All right, so we've got Sadiq. I believe a lot of MMA pages also nominate Sadiq as Sadiq and Edson Barbosa as fight of the year. All right, next we've got African Knockout Championship. This is AKO. Gasmire Diatta from Senegal made 2 appearances in our nominations, and it is not because we are being biased, but it is because he actually deserves it. So you see this clip you are seeing right now. This clip you are seeing, I literally filmed it myself because I was there, and I'm telling you, in my entire life, I've never seen a fight that is so much entertaining physically live than this one. And if you haven't seen this fight, I would ask you to go out of your way, go to African Knockout page, look for AKO Championship 1 stream and watch this fight. It was incredible. And the finish was incredible too. So it's Gasmire Diatta from Senegal versus Josias Musasa from Congo. The Congolese boys are very, very, very good.
On
All right,
fire.
next, I'm telling you. Next, we've got Francis the Predator Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. So this fight is one that did not only So the way I look at this fight, it's not about when the bell rung and the fight started. It's about when Francis Ngannou left the UFC. That's when the fight started. He started that fight with naysayers and people saying he fumbled the bag, right? Them the likes of them Cheo Sonnens, the like of the MMA gurus, those guys that are good for nothing people. Well, I don't want to apologies if I call if I called you good for, but basically the naysayers of Francis Ngannou. And this fight with Tyson Fury is with not only with Fury but with all of them. And the boxing world that cancelled him, or I should say that gave him zero chance, and he came out, knocked down the linear heavyweight champion of the world. Arguably won the fight, but obviously boxing judges did its thing and didn't give him the fight. It was an incredible fight even for casuals, because casuals were the ones that were like, well, I would never understand boxing because I saw this guy dominated the fight and he pummeled this guy's face, but he ended up not winning. So even the casuals were confused on this one. You would this is like one of those fights where you would have people claiming to be boxing purists trying to explain to you why Tyson Fury won. He won by staying outside the pocket and throwing the jabs. He controlled the fight with activity, blah 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 blah. you know uh but we all know the truth. We all know who won. It was actually Francis Ngannou. I don't care about your opinion with this one. Farouk,
Yeah.
um, why is Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira on this list? I feel like I ranted a lot.
Mm, this is a big one. Deserves to be on the list. Deserves to be fight of the year. We all know the story. Pereira has been the boogeyman, defeated Adesanya twice in kickboxing, came into the UFC. The UFC find a way of fast tracking his parts. He got a title shot. Adesanya actually wanted that fight. Adesanya gave him title shot, and what happened? He won via TKO in the fifth round. Adesanya was doing everything perfectly. We were winning on point, and then he lost that fight. A lot of people believe Adesanya will not want to take a rematch. He took the rematch. He came back, and as you can see on the screen, that incredible knockout. A lot of people say he planned that move. He went on the cage, lean on the cage, and counter with that left uppercut that put Alex Pereira out cold. And look at that celebration, the bow and arrow celebration. So definitely,
Yeah,
fight is a fight of the year, in my opinion. And I believe a lot of people here will agree with us that it's a contender or nominee for fight of the year, not the fight of the year.
yeah. You all know that Israel Adesanya is the Cristiano Ronaldo of MMA right now. Even though he's not a champion at the moment, but it's just a matter of time for him to get back in there. We're going to discuss about Israel Adesanya in our weekly podcast, which is going to be coming after this show in a different live stream. So if you would want to stick around, yes, please feel free to. I'm going to take a look at the comments. Let's go. So before then, let me just show you again the recap of the African Fight of the Year. We've got 4 nominations: African Fight of the Year, Sadiq Yusuf versus Edson Barboza UFC Fight Night, Gasmer Diata versus Josiah Musasa African Knockout Championship 1, Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury Battle of the Baddest, and Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira 2. I should have written it there. In our comment section, Green Tea did say one could make an anime movie of their stories. Oh yes. He's talking about the inspirational fighter of the year category. Those are 4 blockbuster movies out there. Anybody that wants to make film, go and sign with them to tell their life stories. All right. So far so good. Farouk, you argued with me when I told you that this is going to take us an hour. Because what we intended to do was to do this in the main podcast. I said, hey, dude, we can't go through all these nominations. It's gonna take too long. All right. With
Yeah.
that being said, we are going to go to the one of the most
Fast track,
exciting
we have about
categories.
20 more minutes to go. Yeah, let's fast track this so that I can jump on the
Yeah.
podcast. Stay tuned for us. We're going to start the podcast at exactly 8:30. So stay tuned to join us as we continue the show.
Right. Yeah, the podcast will come at 8:30. All right. So the next one is the African Knockout of the Year. This is a rather interesting and fascinating one. All right. Everybody likes knockouts, including casuals. And a casual like myself, I feed with knockouts. And here are your nominees for the African Knockout of the Year 2023. The first one is Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya. As you can see here, we have spoken about Israel just 2 minutes ago. Israel versus Alex Pereira. He did the rope dope, the MMA version of rope dope, which is cage dope, and he bounced off, played possum, allowed Pereira to close in, dropped his guard, and then he hit him with two vicious shots, and then followed with a ground and pound and the celebration to put a nail to the coffin. All right, so that is the first knockout of the year contender. Next, it is Gasmire Diatta from Senegal, and he knocked out Nigerian police officer here, Emmanuel Bernard. Emmanuel Bernard looked like a corpse. I swear to God, when I was watching this fight, I was actually legitimately scared and concerned if this guy is still alive.
That
And
was nice.
that's how brutal it is. If you can see from the clip, the first punch before the ground and pound, he was already gone.
Yeah.
Normally, when you see ground and pound, you see maybe the ground and pound will wake up the person that is knocked out. But this guy, the ground and pound didn't wake him. He was like that gone. So shout out to Gasmire Diatta for that one. A lot has been said about the ground and pound if it was necessary, but he will tell you super necessary. Next is Israel Adesanya inspired celebration by David Onama, a short uppercut and followed by a ground and pound, which was not needed as well. And the celebration to go with. David Onama is the first Ugandan MMA fighter,
Yeah.
and he is exciting AF. He
In the
has been
UFC, first
since
Uganda in the
since
UFC.
since he joined the UFC, he has been collecting performance bonuses every night. Performance bonus. This guy has been making money off performance bonus more than his contractual money. I'm pretty sure. Shout out David Onama. Farouk, please feel free to jump in if you want to say something. Don't be waiting
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah. Nothing much. I think for time's sake, David Onama, good uppercut, good knockout.
How about Sadibou Sai round house kick? I've been around house kick. What do
Roundhouse
you
kick,
think?
that's incredible. I think that's for me one of the best knockout of the year in all of MMA in 2023. Incredible
And
timing and
and the walk off.
walk off, yeah, and walk off. Yeah, he knew he didn't need to, there was no need for follow up, so that was just enough, and the guy was out, and also the camera angle as well. The PFL referee cam also incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think those are the four knockouts which we believe were the best for the year. But if you have other thoughts, other opinions, let us know in the comment section. And if you want to cast your vote, hurry, link in bio, and then vote for your favorite knockout. Yes, of the year.
Yes, there you have it. African knockout of the year. 4 contenders. Israel Adesanya when he knocked out Alex Pereira. Gasmir Diatta when he knocked out Emmanuel Bernard. David Onama when he knocked out Gabriel Santos. And lastly, Sadibou Sai when he knocked out Shane Mitchell. All memorable moments this year. It's something to go out of your way to see. Actually, you can already see it in your screen. I'm talking to the audio listeners. All right, so next we are going to be heading to the African Coach of the Year. This is a category of the unsung heroes. These guys are not the most popular, but their body of work is mostly only appreciated by the fighters themselves, but not the fight fans. And we believe it is high time that people start putting respect to their name. And ladies and gentlemen, the nominees for the African Coach of the Year award is JP Kruger from South Africa. JP Kruger is also a fighter slash a trainer at Tinkerbell Gym down there in South Africa. Next, we've got Owanilo Medegan from Benin. Owani, as a lot of people call him, is a very respected MMA guy. He supports and almost runs a promotion in Benin, which is called Benin FC, right?
Yeah, Benin FC in Benin Republic.
Yeah, and then he's got fighters under him like Drame. Sharif Drame, the Black Loop, which I believe is the most coolest nickname in MMA. He's done incredible work in Benin. Very respected all around West Africa, and yeah, and a stand-up guy as well. And then next is someone that people regard to be the outright winner, which is Monvisa. Monvisa, I believe, is the head coach in CIT. Correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong. CIT is the gym that Dricus comes from. He is the coach that is most popular among MMA casuals for kissing his fighters on the mouth. Uh, that's what people mostly know him for. Recognize him for. As I told you, people don't recognize coaches, but his body of work tells you the amount of the things that he does, and you can tell that the fighters down there in his gym, they respect the heckings out of him. Even Dricus, that is the number one contender, because Dricus made a post recently. He's like, "Oh, I just got back to South Africa 2 p.m. I think at noon, and Coach Visa told me to come for training at 2 p.m. and he's at the gym, no excuses." So that tells you, uh, he also coaches them Cameron Simons, them Mark Holmes, and the guys down there, and if there is a stats machine to count the number of wins they've got in EFC alone this year, it's in the 20s or above. So shout out to Monvisa. And then the last is Conrad Sheabi. So Conrad is or has been a fighter. I'm not sure if he has retired yet, but he is a fighter in EFC, and he is one of the few black coaches out there in South Africa who is actually putting in work. I believe he has worked with the likes of Balelo, if I'm correct.
Balelo, yeah.
Um,
Terence Balelo, I think
uh,
his name.
yeah, I'm just spitting out of on the top of my head. I don't have any sheet in front of me. But Farouk, if you can remember the people under Conrad,
I'm
please.
also doubting. I'm not very sure. I think I don't know if it's the last guy that fought for the title against Mark Holmes. I think he trained under him. What is his name? In the AFC.
Mm,
Um,
it's okay.
can't pick the name from my head. Yeah, so he has some good fighters, some contenders in the AFC who trains under him and in the gym. So I think Connect AB is also deserve to be in this list for the African Coach of the Year. Sorry, I can't bring this is from my head, from top of my head, but yeah, here are your top four nominees for Coach of the Year. So you can look into these guys if you want to get to know more about them. And you can tell us who you think deserve to be on the list, who was not nominated, so that we can look into them more and showcase African unsung hero to you, the fans. And yeah,
Yeah. Um yeah, so that's it for the coach of the year. I'm just going to say again, African coach of the year, JP Kruger, South Africa, Uwanilo Medegan, Benin Republic, Monvisa, South Africa, and Conrad Shebi, South Africa. All right. Next, we've got the breakthrough fighter of the year. Um this is this is a category for the fighters who their stars just started shining some more again. Some of these guys have already been around for a while, and it's just that their stock went up and up this year. Um, I'm going to pull up this now. All right, here we go. All right, Breakthrough African Fighter of the Year, and the nominees are Oki Bolaji from Nigeria and Zimbabwe. And I believe Belgium, or is it Netherlands? Which one is the
Belgium.
European
Bel-
country? Belgium, yeah?
Bel-
Yeah, so Okibolaji has parents from both Nigeria and Zimbabwe, and from his last name, I can tell that is the Nigerian that is his father. Um, but I believe he's more Zimbabwean than Nigerian by by culture because he's more one of them down there. But yeah, Okibolaji has been tearing it up in Europe, and he got a call up to go to Dana White Contender Series earlier in the summer this year. And surprise, surprise. Well, not so surprise. He got his UFC contract after a spectacular finish in Dana White Contender Series. So with that being said, Okibolaji found his big breakthrough, and he's one of the nominees for Breakthrough Fighter of the Year. Next is Ibrahim Amani. Farouk, you want to take this one?
Yeah, Ibrahim Mani, incredible fighter, a striker known as the Freezer, has a record of 13-4. Ibrahim Mani has 5 wins by KO, 3 submissions, 5 decisions, fought in Bellator, RS, Brave, currently in RS. I think he's currently number one contender for the welterweight title in RS. Hopefully next year he fight for the belt. He fought twice this year, currently on a 5 fight winning streak, and definitely for me, I think he is one of the breakthrough fighter of the year, and the world is going to see more of him in 2024.
All right. Next is Lucine Keita. A lot of people would oh, not really a lot of people. If you've been with us in this show today, you would hear us say that Lucien deserves to be in the African Fighter of the Year Global. I think definitely he's up there. He's had an incredible year. He suffered a setback where he lost a fight by doctor stoppage, and he came back stronger and got a knockout that was so brutal that the Octagon MMA page had to cut the highlights because of how brutal that knockout was. Lucien Keita is someone that, well, according to him, he he got called up by the UFC. The UFC tried to make contact, and he said he doesn't want to go because he's already making good money with Octagon MMA. And Octagon MMA, by the way, are starting their own sort of like Grand Prix for 1 million euros. So he's going to try to stay and collect that 1 million euros before he probably goes to America. And Lucien Keita definitely has been breaking through. He has broke through before, and this is even him breaking
Another
even
breakthrough
more
again.
into the glass ceiling.
Yeah, I think there's a little misconception here about breakthrough. I know the body of work, double champ at Octagon, has incredible record of 12-1. Like you mentioned, the one defeat, that freak accident, 5 wins by KO
Mhm.
TKO. For me, Lausanne is still not well known in the African community, so that is why I think this is a way to announce him as and also Octagon MMA. For me, I still see it's a good promotion, getting clout and all that, growing, but I still regard Octagon to be on the same level with RS, Brave, and the like. So
Ah, I will not agree with you. I definitely will not agree with you.
you
Just do
cannot
one
compare
thing.
you cannot
Just do
compare
one thing.
Octagon you cannot compare Octagon
Wait,
with Brave and UAE Warriors. They're established
no, no, no,
promotion.
no,
They may
no.
not be as big as Octagon.
I feel
Yeah, make your point.
just do one thing. Yeah, my point
Okay.
is carry your phone, go on Instagram and search Octagon MMA. Go there and then go and search RSFC. RS are trying to be like UFC. I feel like RS have not found their identity. Even their championship belt is a direct replica of the UFC. Everything they are doing, they are trying to do it like UFC.
What
But
about Brave?
Octagon, I think Octagon are very, very. They already found their niche. They found their style. They've got a fan base. They sell out their arenas. They don't only stay in Paris like RS does. They travel across the European continent. I think Octagon is levels ahead of RS. Hence why being a double champion Octagon puts you on top a very big mantle. If you even ask me, I think Octagon MMA is likely the number one MMA promotion in Europe. I probably need to sit down and look at it, but
I
I
don't think
actually
so.
believe that.
I don't think they're ahead of KSW. Like you have to look at longevity.
Oh shit!
A lot of things. So
Yeah, there's KSW, there's KSW. But I don't know. I don't know. I probably need to speak to an MMA fan or MMA person to understand very well this European scene. But for me, I regard
I agree with
Octagon
you.
very,
I agree
very
with
highly.
Octagon definitely is going. They're going to be number one or number two at the moment. Number two, three at the moment in Europe. But with time, the way they're going, the energy, the fan base, and everything.
Can we move on? We have another
Okay,
show. It's
let's move.
clocking
Let's
1 hour
move.
already.
Let's move.
All right. All right. Next is Cameron Simon, the South African wonder kid. Dana White absolutely loves this guy. He has been undefeated in the UFC. His only loss came to a fight that he lost. His opponent missed weight, and then he still took the fight, and he lost by unanimous decision. But that is nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
He was EFC champion, and this year, obviously, he's fought his first contractual UFC fight this year, and he's fought three times, right?
Yep. 3 times in the UFC.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's two on one this year. So he's been putting now an activity out there, and I'm sure he's probably going to like to take his time before he fights again because of how he rushed the last fight. Even though his fighter missed weight, basically. So there you have it. African Breakthrough Fighter of the Year. We've got Okibolaji from Nigeria and Zimbabwe, Ibrahim Amani from the Gambia, Lucine Keita from Guinea and Cameroon, MSP Simon from South Africa. All right, Farouk, what do you think about our categories so far?
I think incredible, incredible. The breakthrough fighter of the year, like you mentioned, Cameron Simon, supposed to be breakthrough last year, but now he's still breakthrough. Second time breaking through. 23 years old, a young guy, and I think yeah.
See, Temba is agreeing with me. Yeah,
Okay.
they are authentic. Octagon is authentic. And
Okay.
I feel like you putting them in the same level with RS is an insult to them. Again, RS is trying so hard to be UFC, and they are not. They should just try to be themselves, which Octagon are being. To be honest.
But
Anyways,
you want to advise
so, so,
others to
so
come back to Africa where they started in Senegal because they did have a fantastic show that first edition. What do you think? Let's send a message to Fernand Lopez. Come back to Africa, Fernand, and put on that
oh no
event.
no 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 no, they're still doing great in France. They're still doing great in France. Anyways, Uh, let's go. We've got. I think two more to go. Oh
Mhm.
gosh, I swear I'm getting tired already.
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
take it. Let's be fast now. Yeah,
African
run this down.
African Prospect of the Year. We'll do it quickly now. African Prospect of the Year. This is an award for. If you are watching the Headies Award in Nigerian Music Awards, there's this award that is called Next Rated. Next Rated Award is for the guys that are up next. The guys that you should watch out for that in the coming year or 1 year from today, 1 year, there'll be household names. And we've got four young guys in the African Prospect of the Years. And the nominees for African Prospect of the Year are Ananias Mulumba from Congo. This guy is on a tear. He's on a 5 fight win streak, and all wins come via submission. If you watch Ananias Mulumba's fight, you would see that it is men against boys. He know they take him easy with those boys. He is really, really manhandling them. And he has broken a lot of Nigerian hearts because his last couple of fights are with Nigerians. All right, the next is Terence Balelu. This is a story as well that you could say is inspirational, but it's too young. He is too young to put him in an inspirational category because his story is only getting started. He took a short notice fight and became a champion in EFC. Terence Balelu, who is the Black Panther. Farouk, you've got anything?
Yeah, Terrence, like you just mentioned, his story, inspirational, young guy doing well, 5-1 record. Also currently, I think he's the interim champion, right? Interim flyweight
Mm-hmm.
champion. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
two fights via KO, one submission, two decision. I think he's a very great guy, talented guy, and hopefully we'll see him in the UFC very very soon. Yeah.
All right. How about Yusuf Benate?
Yusuf Benati also doing fantastic, 4-0. I think all his fights in RS. Also very a guy we should look out for. He's in the bantamweight division. I believe he will likely cross paths with the Matt Pena. I think that will be a very big test for him. Yusuf Binat is currently ranked number 3 in the bantamweight division in RS, 3 or 4. So hopefully 2024 we'll see him in a title fight. So I think he's also a good nominee for prospect of the year.
And lastly, Gift Wolka.
Yeah, Gift Walker, incredible guy. He is the EFC. Is he bantamweight champion now? Yeah, bantamweight champion. He defeated Terence Belelo for the title. He's currently 5-0. He's talked about a lot in South Africa. He's very good, and I think he's going to be similar to Ige Kabesa, the way he's going. So yeah.
All right. Temba has something here that he said. He says, "Where is Dante Humphrey? 6 fights in 1 year and all first round finishes, and he's only 21, 22 years old. Come on, guys, that's a killer." I honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. To be honest, Temba, you know how the African fights are. We don't have a big database for everything, but to be honest, this is somebody to look out. I'm going
Or
to
go
I'm going
at
to
look
take a
what,
note and take a
yeah,
yeah and look into him.
I think
I had
we
no
missed this
idea.
one. I Yeah,
Somebody with
yeah,
six
same.
fights, even if he lost one of them, is definitely is definitely something to give a shout for. Six fights is not easy. All right, guys. So that's it for the prospect of the year. I believe we just have one more to go, and then we will call it quits here and jump on the next stream. All right. So the next category or the next category I'm going to be announcing is the African Promotion of the Year. So African Promotion of the Year. There isn't really plenty to pick out from because. MMA is not a very easy promotion to run. Sometimes,
Mm.
if you run an MMA promotion, you'll probably be running it out of loss in Africa and be hoping to get paid by sponsors or hoping to try to get the people smartened up about the sports. But it's not a a very financially uh, smart investment in the sense that if you do it, you have to do it out of love. But regardless, shout out to the people out there trying to put fights together, trying to put the events together for us to enjoy. And here are our four nominations for the African Promotion of the Year. It's not like there is plenty to pick out from, but here are them. Number one, we've got the EFC Worldwide out of South Africa. I believe that's the biggest MMA promotion. They've been doing events, even though they did most of them in their performance center, but they've been steadily putting events in and out. So shout out to EFC. We've got One Zone MMA. That's
Yep,
in Uganda. Yeah.
yep. Runs MMA.
You can look them out. You can check them out. They haven't been very active lately, but most of last year they were very busy putting in events, and their production was quite impressive. It didn't look mediocre at all. Next is UAE Warriors Africa. This raised a lot of eyebrows, and here's the reason why it's here. UAE Warrior Africa. I feel like UAE Warriors were just doing us a favor because if you look at the UAE Warrior Africa event, you would see that the arenas were almost always empty. So there isn't so much money made out of it, but they still did it because of the amount of African fighters they had. Sometimes some fighters might not even be fully African, but they would still come and represent an African flag. But regardless, they did a favor, I would say, to our African fighters and get them out there and get them to fight for something. I don't know what the pay structure is, but it's still better to have an option, get paid rather than not. So shout out to UAE Warriors for doing that. And lastly, African Knockouts. That is Kamaru Usman's MMA promotion. They've had two events this year in Lagos, Nigeria. They started a championship where they won a crown a champion by the end of the year, but it's starting to look like this is going to spill over to 2024. So yeah, so they kind of like started doing some activity with regards to Nigerian MMA. So shout out to African Knockout. All right, Farouk, you've got anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I think you've touched on that. Just to save time, we can just jump on to the next one. And
All all right.
yeah,
Uh, I
so
think
okay,
that's it for now regarding the graphics. But I could just verbally tell you guys the next ones. So the African Pipe Bomb of the Year is the category for promos of the year, African promos of the year, and the nominees for those ones are Farouk. Can you tell us?
the nominees for African Pipe Bomb of the Year is going to be Adesanya versus Pereira, the post-fight speech, the incredible speech, and also the celebration. And also the second nominee is Manel Kapp, his call out after his last victory, and he call out Kakia France, also their post-fight speech. And the next one is Impa Kasanganay. He's also post-fight also comment calling out Francis Ngannou after winning the title. And lastly, the fourth one is I'm trying to figure it out. I can't pull it from my head. I can't remember the fourth one.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell we are getting to the end of
Yeah,
this
the fourth
show.
one, I can't pull the fourth
Um,
one So
all the categories and all the nominees are in our bio. So yes, feel free please to get in there and check. Farouk, do you have anything from the IG live?
IG live, no comment. We got some few other people here live. We got about 5 people now live, but no comments at the moment. So
All right. All right, guys. This has been incredible. Thank you so much. We just decided to come and explain to you guys why we did what we did or why we picked who we picked, and yeah. So that's
and
it from us.
lastly, for the
Mhm.
African pipe bomb, so that it should be complete, we have Cedric Dumbe, his walk, ring
Oh
walk,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
also
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So and his knockouts. So that's also the fourth one
All right. All
for that.
right
Yeah.
then. That's it then. All right, guys. This is Farouk, and this is me, African Fighters. Please stay with us. 10 minutes. We are going to be back on another link to discuss about AJ, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder, and a lot of talking points in the world of combat sports. It never ends. Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Jibril. See you in 2 seconds.